Hello, today we've got a couple of original 3DS consoles now. One of them, I can plug it in and we've got a charging light. And yep, it turns on. What does it do? Yeah, well, that top screen is no good. Touchscreen seems to work, even though it looks like it's been dragged through the mud. I mean, this is the filthiest looking console you've ever seen, until we get to the next one. Yeah, outer camera works. Flick the camera around. Inner camera works. Whee. So it's just that front screen. Yep, the home button works. I don't know what that is. Some kind of nastiness. I think the cartridge port is probably a bit knackered. Yes. Like, it goes in, but it doesn't have the spring on it at all. So that needs a top screen. 3D works. So it needs a top screen LCD. This seems to work, and it needs the cartridge slot. So let's put that to one side for a second. This is now filthy. And then this one, no battery light at all. So let's have the back off. It looks like it's had a sticker there at some point. But yeah, let's pop this off. Get that battery out. Just take the battery out of this one, as we know it's got some charge in it. And let's see if it comes on with this battery. No, nothing. Oh, yep, there we go. Power's on, but the battery doesn't fit very well because it's swollen. The yellow lights come on the side. Yep, top screen's gone. Volume works. Obviously the 3D is working. Okay. Does it read a cartridge? It does. So it reads a cart. Does the camera work? I don't think we should be waiting this long, but we are there. So the camera does work, but it looks awful in a camera. Yep, that's working. I do wonder what version of firmware this is on, because that looks very basic. No, I can't see, because that's where the firmware goes. Right, so this one needs a top screen and some serious cleaning up. So I'm going to give these quite a scrub, and then I'll come back and we'll start working. But let me just get the where's the little post-it notes? I'm going to so number 1, cart, top LCD. Number 2, top LCD. I think it was just the top LCD, wasn't it? So yeah, let's write number 2 on there in some really awful handwriting. Put number 1 on here. Oh, hang on. Number 2, top LCD, not charging. That was it. Right, I'm going to give them a clean up and I'll come back shortly, because I don't want to work on them whilst they're this filthy. Okay, they're a bit cleaner. They're not the best, but they are a bit cleaner, so I don't mind getting in touch with them. So now put number 1 out of the way. I'm going to start with number 2, because this is the one that does not charge. Right, no little light from there at all. But if I pop that in, it will power on, but it just doesn't charge. So let's pull the battery back out. Whilst I'm here, I'm going to check the battery that was in there and see if it works in number 1, or if it charges. Yep, see, that charges. So we'll leave that one to charge up a bit, and I'm going to take this apart and be back in a sec. Okay, so I've taken out all the black screws from around here and the little silver one there. Let's pop it open and see what state it's in. So memory card, out you come. The water indicator has gone, so it's definitely water damage at some point. But if you can see up here on the power connector, it's all a bit manky. So I'll get us back in focus. The soldering iron has heated up, hopefully, and I'll zoom into here and just, yeah, the whole thing pretty much moves. So where's my little jar of flux? Oh, there's some flux. Obviously this is going to have to come apart further, but I would just like to get this part repaired first and then move on to anything else. Let's get a bit more heat and a little bit of solder on the tip of the iron. Might as well do that one at the end, if I can get to it. No. Right, now hopefully, if I zoom back out, I should be able to see an orange light here, and that gets plugged in. Yep, there we go. So that'll go back off again, or it should do, because there's no battery plugged in, but that's sorted. So part one is a winner. Right, I now need to take these screws out and strip this down a bit more, so I'll be back. Right, we've had the 4 screws out here, the 2 screws holding this down, the 2 screws holding the SD card down, then the 2 other screws underneath it holding the plastic surround down. So if I pop the catches, that's the camera, sorry no, that's the 3D slider and back, yeah, 3D slider and volume control. This is the camera one. And then we'll pop this out, and that one is the top screen. So this, apart from wanting a bit of a clean up, is mostly all right. I want to maybe just hold this screen out of the way and give everything a good soak with IPA whilst the screen's out, and just maybe have a little look underneath, and no, it's pretty much okay under there. You can see where a little bit of water damage was on that screen, so I've got a feeling that bottom screen's going to come off at some point, and we'll get a nicer one on there, because I've got quite a few of them, I'm sure I have. So let's zoom out a bit, because now I need to remove all of this grubby stuff, and we need to get it apart. Turn it upside down. Oh, hang on, I'll get that button out as well. Yeah, if I flip it, this should come out. Well, the analog stick's fallen out for starters, but that was destined for the dustbin anyway, because it was knackered. But yeah, this normally just falls out, but I have to poke that through. And then we need to remove the little rubber pieces at the top. Just these parts here. They're supposed to stop the screen from touching the bottom, but they don't work. But yeah, they come out. And then we'll have this plastic surround off, please. So I can get to the other screws. So this is why I want to give it a sort of a clean up, because Nobody wants to be touching this whilst it was that disgustingly dirty. No, it's got a big fat scratch down there. That can go in the bin. We'll have a new one on there. Right, screws out, 6 of them, dotted in each corner and 2 at that point. Close it, and then I should be able to prise that apart. Ooh, looks lovely in there, doesn't it? Do you know, I think we'll give it a bit of a clean. Obviously, the screen's not staying in here, but the other cables will be remaining, so let's just give it a clean. Right, I need to poke the hinge barrel through this side, and why don't we use the curved ones, because that makes so much more sense. See, they've poked it through to there, and now this is free to move. I will just unscrew this ribbon cable. Because after I have removed the Wi-Fi card, unwired this from here, I need to poke it to the other side and then try and extract all of these. Right, that could be okay. Obviously it needs more of a clean up because it's disgusting. But, you know, it's an original frame. It's not a third party replacement. So it's worth trying to save this one at least. But yeah, that looks a bit better. So I need to get a top screen for this. So I'll be back. I found one screen. I'm gonna have to go hunting and see if I've got another one before I pull the other 3DS apart. If I've only got one screen, there's no point putting it into pieces on the desk only for bits to get lost, like all the countless other ones that are laying around here. First things first, we will slice off that one just to make it easier to pull through the shell. I'll unclip these little zip connectors, pop this out, and hopefully I'll be able to unpick that from there. I've got a feeling that camera might be a bit decrepit also. Interesting. Do I just replace the camera while we're in here? No, let's use as much original as possible. So I need to curl this up. Feed that through. There we go. That's come through quite sensibly, quite easily. Makes a change. Yep, there we go. So a good length. I'll get that folded back over, get this folded over and there. Speaker back in place. I want these two little ribbons to come out here. Because they need to, once that's back in there, I need to try and get these two ribbons into their forever homes. Go. Right, I think they're in enough, but what I am going to do is just loosely put the cover on with one screw in the top, just to hold it sort of in place, because I want to try and get the board and the battery and see if that camera is any good or not. So, right, first cable. Is the screen, which goes in here. Yep. And then flip it over. Make sure that's lifted up. Yep. Got the camera in. I'm going to put the speaker ribbon and 3D slider ribbon in. I need to put the Wi-Fi chip on. He says, failing to do so quite spectacularly. There we go. Right, now where's the fat swollen battery? So this should hopefully, once I zoom back out, turn on. Yep. and we should get a reasonable picture on the screen. Yep. And then I'll jab at the camera a little bit, lift it up, and hopefully it won't be a pink picture like it was before. No. Camera module looks like it's shot to bits. So I'll have a look in the spare box. 2 seconds. Okay, that took a few more than a few seconds, but I have found the camera module. Unfortunately, I've got to take another one apart to get to it. Ugh. So give me a minute and I'll just strip this down and get this camera out. Okay, one camera module retrieved. So we'll try this again. I'm gonna pop this out. Remove that camera module for the time being. Put this one in. And then cross my fingers. Because I want it to be a faulty camera module, not something faulty on the board, because we've had that before and I couldn't work out what the problem was. So in that goes. Yep, lovely. Fat battery, yeah. Power on. Hold battery in place. Screen's up. We get the camera started and then hopefully, yes, you can sort of see it. Hello. Yeah, now it's not all pink and horrible. So yeah, I need to disentangle all of this, get the top back off and replace the camera module. So the camera module and the top screen were faulty on this one. Now this does prove a slight pain in the arse, to say the least. Because I need to get all this crap out again. And yep. Now, the issue we have here is, this is the middle one. So, snip, snip, not a problem, because obviously there's no corrosion or anything on that. It's just peat tongued. And now it definitely is, because I've cut the end off. But I should be able to slide that out. Excellent. Yeah, obviously that probably doesn't help, does it? Looking like that. So, unfortunately, like a camera module, no, state my hands are filthy, but I need to somehow get that in between without taking them all out. Oh, do you know what? LCD can come out. That can go out of the way carefully, he says. Now, I'm not holding out much hope on my chances for getting this through here like this, but I'm going to try. Right, mirror Pratt. Let's just have to undo these two again, and then I can move that out of the way fully. Can pull this stupid wire through, do it properly, and then it will be quicker than trying to bodge it. He says. Right. Twist them up. Poke them through. There we go. Lovely. Right, now that can go back on there. The camera can settle down to where it's supposed to live. And then this can all go back into place. Sorry, my microphones. Sorry, speakers, you've got to separate now. You've had your time hanging out. Get the little screw back in there. Maybe unwind them a bit more. Yep, that's better. And then, as I say, pop these two out. And then, yeah, we're back to one. Hopefully they're in as far as I need to go. Fingers crossed, because where's that shell? We're going back in the case. Actually, give it a quick clean up first. That's a bit cleaner. It's just obviously whilst it's apart, it's nice to clean up a few of the harder to reach pieces of the shell. So in goes one ribbon, hopefully the other two. Without too much aggro. That might have been too much aggro. fold up. I think I've just wrecked one of the ribbon cables. Right. Now that should just sit nicely on it. This top is not staying on this shell because it's horrible. Right, that is just an awful one, but hopefully I've got a nice one somewhere. So, but for the time being, I just want to protect the screen and the bits inside until we're all mostly, the rest of it's back together. So a couple of screws. Obviously I've not put the 3D slider back in yet. But yeah, that's that in there. And then we can pop this and see if it still works. This one. Yep. There we go. So hopefully, right, I should be able to find that crappy battery. Right, this battery can't really go in anything now. It's swollen and is on its last legs. But for today, it's quite useful because it's allowing me to test this. But yeah, we have our top screen working. Let's check what the camera looks like now. Yep, normal coloured camera. Obviously there's a plastic sleeve on it as well. Inner camera, yep. So that's good to go basically, apart from putting it all back together. Let's see what firmware it's on. If it's on 1.0.0, that'd be great. No, 2200 European. So right, that's going to get cleaned up now and put back together. I'm not going to bore you to death with that. I'll put a yeah, no, I'm going to put it back together and then I'll come back and then we'll start on this one that needs the top LCD and the cartridge reader doing. So I'll see you in a second and you'll see this up the other way back together. I'm getting through putting the buttons back in, but whilst we're here I shall just show you that we've got a brand new one of these little thumbsticks, and just to replace them, obviously I can't show you how to take it out, but to replace it you just pop that piece in and then just twist it and turn it around and there you go, you're in. So that's that bit done. Now I'm going to get back to putting the rest of it together. Right, okay, so I've got a nice looking top. It's still not perfect, but obviously it has come from a spare parts box, so it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be brand new. It's just from something that has been previously deemed knackered. So pop this back out, and I mean I'll keep this one just for an emergency purpose, but we need to put the 3D slider in, pop this on, and then I need to go and get a top thing for it. Sorted. Now I need to pop it open, power it on. I need to get this off actually, don't I? Can't have the well, but just need to pick. I've got no idea what that was that flew off over there, but I need to get the plastic off. There we go. Probably should have done that at an earlier stage, but I really don't want to get too much mess over the screen. Right, they're all in. That's where it needs to be. This is going on here. Just clip it into place. Yep, 3D slider works fine. Now I need to get those screws down quickly before dust gets on the screen. One more to go. Right. So many layers of plastic on here. But we're ready to... Yep, that's right, it's on the outside. Can't see any dust or spots, so let's make with the sticking down. There we go. Stick my little rubber feet back in. And this almost looks respectable now. Well, I say almost, it does look respectable. It's quite nice. It's had a good clean. It's got a new top on it. Just going to make sure, obviously the L button works. Yep. And the L button works. Brilliant. So that's the first one sorted out. It did read again, didn't it? Oh, I've just pushed the flipping camera button again. That should chuck up Cubic Ninja. There we go. Right. And where's the charging cable? Just make sure it does charge. This was the one that didn't charge. So, yep, there we go. That charges up nicely as well. I'm going to turn that off. And put that to one side. And leave that to charge, because our next trick is getting this one to work. But I think this has been a long enough video already. I'm going to do this as a part 2. So I'll catch you in part 2 for number 1, because, well, arse about face here, aren't I? Right, thanks a lot for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, bye.